Paul, I've been to a bunch of your shows, your improv shows, and one of the things that I love is when y'all do your like mockery of America's Got Talent and people pull out things and they have to write songs. So I was just thinking about the song you must have danced to with your wife at your first song.
Yes, this was a beautiful song.
And I just wanted to just see if you could maybe recall maybe some of the lyrics or even a little bit of the vibe that Will was able to lay down.
Yeah.
This song was by the band Biggest Loser.
Yep.
And of course they were playing A Near Occasion of Sin.
Well, it's been worth the wait, spelled W-E-I-G-H-T. And you went on first dates, but now the rest of your life is gonna be great because there's no more near occasions of sin. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled, faith-filled episode of The BeatiDudes, a podcast for Christian men seeking to grow in holiness while growing in humor with one another. We take the faith seriously, but not ourselves. My name is Paul Kolker, and I am joined by my co-hosts, my bro-hosts, the co-founders, Nick Besner.
Nick, experiencing beard envy, Besner.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll get to that. Or if you're on YouTube, you already see that he's looking at our guest's beard. But and my other co-host, Jeffrey Scheffelbein.
Paul, had my first Red Bull, I think I calculated, in 16 years right before this show.
Wow.
We were on a major Dudes Day of episode after episode, and I wanted to give Will my utmost energy, not my attention, because it's...
Oh, it's off the charts. Yeah, it's all over the place.
I'm here for you and with you.
All right.
Do you feel me?
That's good.
The EKG is showing brain activity off the charts in here, Jeff.
Finally.
Woo! I went from nothing to everything.
I only like doing podcasts with people whose heart rates are at least 170, so this is great.
We got this.
Yep.
That's good.
He's burning calories in Orange Theory's Orange Zone right now.
Yes.
They're not a sponsor. I'm just throwing that out there. But
Yet.
But we are joined by a phenomenal guest. He was actually the DJ at my wedding. He's done. Yeah.
Layers.
Yeah, a lot of layers.
Oh, my goodness.
I've known him. Well, I wasn't in college with you, but we were like right around the same time because my brothers were there around. Yeah. So Will Hickl, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Yeah. Woo. Welcome, Will Hickl.
I got to do something real quick.
Yeah.
Let me grab my little card here. Oh. So the first time I ever met Nick, well, not the first time, but one of the times I saw him recently, he did this thing where he was like, he wrote down everyone's names where they sat in a conference room. So I'm just doing that to make sure I know who I'm talking to at all times.
Well played. Way to know your audience.
Keep that out in front just in case. Did you put your own name on there?
On here? No, I just put an X where I am.
Okay.
That's
X
smart.
equals Will.
Yes.
I'm just trying to save time. It's efficient. Shorthand for me. Just like almost looks like one of those pens you wear on.
What conference room did you guys go to together?
Was it a business ethics forum?
Yeah.
Where it's like, there's 20 new people that I don't know. I'm just going to write everybody's name down.
I thought it was actually a cool technique. So
yeah, that's smart.
This is me just being
I wrote
jealous.
names in a circle around my...
He drew the table and said who's at what seat. So I did the same thing here.
How did he do as a DJ at your wedding, by the way?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
You remember the names?
Of the songs?
You.
What?
The bride and groom?
I remember our names.
No, did he?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yeah, he must have wrote them down.
Yeah. Must have.
Oh, yeah, no. I had the right time.
I did not connect the dots on the, yes. Yeah, by the end of the night, he knew where everybody was seated.
All right, so I'm going to start off by asking y'all some questions.
Let's go.
So, Jeff, when are we throwing your 81st birthday party?
In 40.
No.
Gosh.
Oh, no. You okay?
And then, I
can't do it.
You were having some beard envy. I have hair envy. So big hair Paul, what are the secrets, man?
Oh,
man, yeah. Collagen peptides. That's what I'll say.
Right. Man, at first I thought he said college and peptides. Get a degree.
Yeah. You got to just get educated. And hair thrives on brain activity.
Nice. And then Nick, did you know, well, first of all, how are the macros doing? And did you know that they're adding Python to his spreadsheet Besner or whatever?
I did not know that. That is beyond my skill set. I'm going to have to figure that one out.
Oh, I don't know Python either. I just saw it in an article. So anyways.
Cool.
It was on one of the episodes. I was trying to call
Will,
back
first of all,
Yeah.
thanks for watching the episode you watched.
Also, we've never had the guest turn the tables on us so instantly, and I use that as a pun as well because turntables DJ.
Yes.
Ooh, turn tiny tables.
That's it. Yeah.
I want you to DJ on small records, on tiny tables.
little CDs.
Tiny turntables.
They actually have some that are like smaller than this. So.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube right now, youtube.com/@the_BeatiDudes, you can see that we've got a whole array of musical instrumentation type stuff going on this tiny table. So it's even more claustrophobic than it usually is. But Will's gonna lead us through some stuff here, I think, in a little bit.
Paul, I've been to a bunch of your shows, your improv shows, and one of the things that I love is when y'all do your like mockery of America's Got Talent and people pull out things and they have to write songs. So I was just thinking about the song you must have danced to with your wife at your first song.
Yes, this was a beautiful song.
And I just wanted to just see if you could maybe recall maybe some of the lyrics or even a little bit of the vibe that Will was able to lay down.
Yeah.
This song was by the band Biggest Loser.
Yep.
And of course they were playing A Near Occasion of Sin.
Well, it's been worth the wait, spelled W-E-I-G-H-T. And you went on first dates, but now the rest of your life is gonna be great because there's no more near occasions of sin.
No more. Yay. For those of you who aren't watching on YouTube, I pulled out a character card and a Catholic card game card and Biggest Loser singing Near Occasion of Sin. I felt like that was tough for your wife, though, because it was so endearing to her that how could she focus on dancing when that was probably so emotional to get into the Biggest Loser's Near Occasion of Sin ballad?
No, that was, she teared up. And we almost slipped on her tears. There was a puddle of tears. Yeah.
When you got a professional like Will there who he knows he has a job to do.
Yes.
And so in there, he can just stay focused for the people that he's written down their names.
That's right. Every last one of them.
Bill.
That's one of them.
Did you just call me Bill? How many episodes of this show have we done, and how long have we known each other before the BeatiDudes?
He was thinking of all the names that Will had written down. Maybe a combination of Will and Paul with a weird
B instead. So he just added another little bump to the P.
Ball Colker.
I'm bright red because I think Red Bull is now in my brain, and so the B came from Red Bull.
You were thinking of Red Bull and then said Paul. And it came out Bill.
This is one of those shows where I get a lot of negative feedback. Like, you guys like to hear yourself talk. We do. You're welcome.
Yes. But also, we do enjoy talking to our guest. And I believe Jeff has some questions for our guest already teed up.
I do, yeah.
To make up for calling me the wrong name.
Well,
Bill.
Will.
You can call me Bill.
Billiam.
Actually, I got one for you from a wedding. I was asked to be the MC of a wedding, which I was like, I don't even know what you're asking me to do, but my answer is yes. They said, we're going to connect you with the DJ. And I was like, I really don't want to talk to your DJ. Just give me a microphone and I'll MC your wedding. And they said, his name's Will. And I was like, great. The DJ Will. And then when they put us both on an email, I lit up. I was like, Will, it's my buddy. We first met in Houston, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we get to like run an event together. So we were like on the mic back and forth. I forgot their names too, by the way.
Should write it down on a note card.
Daniel Hennessy.
I was kidding.
Well,
but you got a pretty laser sharp mind. Okay, how did you get here? Why are you on the BeatiDudes? Who is Will?
Who is Will? I mean, I am a dude.
Hickl means what?
Hickl?
Yeah.
It's just some Czech last name.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Check it out.
Check it out.
It used to be spelled Hykl, which I kind of wish it was still.
Oh, that would be interesting.
It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Why not bring it back?
Good idea. My daughter, I'll put that on her when she's born.
She has a different last name.
It'll change at some point, maybe.
Wait, so your daughter, when she's born, what's happening? How does this work?
October 25th. So.
Oh man, and I think this episode's coming out right around then.
So who knows? Yeah. I mean, that's the due date, but you know that
the
plus or minus
dude date.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when you become a dude dad of how many?
2.
Yes, awesome, dude. The dude date. Tell your wife that. Happy dude date.
I will. She'll be in the
it.
middle of labor like, oh, by the way, Jeff says happy dude date.
Honey,
Honey.
He also called you Bill.
He just thinks everyone's called Bill these days.
It works. Okay, look, the first time I ever met you, this is no joke. We were at a coffee shop, maybe?
Oh, yeah, with Nick Balzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pointed at Nick Besner as if they're the same human.
I lived with him, and it was very
That's
confusing.
where I met Nick, was at Nick Balzer's house.
Dark beard, big eyebrows,
Nick
bright eyes.
Balls or Besner. It's
Balls or
tough.
Besner.
Financial gurus,
Financial, yeah.
Aggies, Catholic.
I've never seen them in the same place.
How do we know they're not the same?
Yeah.
Because he was never at Nick's. That's the crazy thing is I'd go over to
It's
Nick's
true.
and he was never there.
I was at work.
Dave Moore met him once, and he was like, I slept on your couch. And he's like, I hung out with you. And he's like, no, you didn't. That was Nick Balzer. I wasn't there.
True.
Okay, and you said, I'm DJing, and I was thinking to myself, what is this guy telling me? What does that mean? I'm DJing. But you have launched a whole career that has DJing, but it also has music production. Tell us about what is this journey you've been on? Where does it intercede with your faith also?
Sure. Oh, okay, yeah. I grew up in a house that was just filled with music. My mom loved having the radio on when we did anything, whenever we'd go on road trips usually we drove to Colorado because we have family out there. So just long trips filled with soundtracks and, not soundtracks, but albums. Didn't get into musicals till later, but, so it's just always been a part of me. And I'm also the kind of person who just, likes to, this is going to sound funny, but I like to have a good time, My name's Will. I like to party. Hot rod reference.
My name is Paul, and I too like to party.
No, you don't. I know for sure. No. Anyways, so I'd always been drawn to it, and just I've always had kind of the personality that has, I like to just try things. So yeah, I was just interested in I had friends that were getting married and they needed a DJ, so I was like, oh, I should do that, or I can do that. Why not? And just kind of inserted myself as one with just a laptop and Spotify, and then I was on the road doing a Catholic summer camp called Alive in You, and they usually had a dance party Thursday night, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna DJ that because they want to have a DJ. And so after I did a ton of weeks on the road with them doing that, I was like, I need to buy some turntables because I actually like doing this. And so so that's the DJ route, is the really short version.
Do you have a DJ name?
DJ Trill Will.
Trill Will. Bill.
Yeah, Trill Bill. But yeah, in terms of other music, worship leading and music production, that's a whole nother backstory of just actually I started leading worship at A&M where we all went.
You point at Paul. I went there before all of you.
You're right.
I was last.
You know what? I just never took carpool, so that's why.
That's the only thing I did.
I know.
Either drink or take other people home.
Yeah.
That's not true, kids. My kids.
But you can run with that. Use it as blackmail against your father.
The rest of your life.
No, yeah. So yeah, I got my start doing music there for worship leading and even production, because I declared a minor in music to take the classes that I wanted to take, which were a performance class and a music technology class and the recording class, which gave you access to the recording studio on campus.
Cool.
Nice.
Which was awesome. And then once I took those 3 classes, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to minor in music anymore because I don't want to take music theory, and I already got what I wanted. So,
Smart.
And saved cash that way. So so I just kind of took it on as a hobby, kept messing with stuff at the house, and then started collaborating with people. And then I started a band. I actually was more interested in music or live production.
Sure.
So sound gear and stuff like that, which is why I had a bunch of it, which also helped with the DJing side of things. So I already have all this stuff for doing live sound for bands. And I didn't even, and I'd kind of done some songwriting as I started leading worship, but it was one of those moments where I felt God tell me in this moment of prayer, which was actually kind of cool. I have some Catholic friends that every New Year's, they did as soon as the clock struck midnight, it was an hour of praise and worship. So starting the year with praise and worship.
Cool. At
midnight. So, during one of those, I was only with that group of people for 2 New Year's, but on one of them, I did kind of just feel God, I kind of heard his voice pretty clearly, one of those rare moments in life for me, of hearing his voice clearly be like, hey, I want you to start a band. And then I laughed because I was like, the songs that I've written thus far are not that good, so I'm going to need your help. So it was like 2 weeks later that I was in adoration, and it was just something just downloaded into my brain. I was like, whoa, just total inspiration from the Holy Spirit. Went home and like cut a demo of a song that I had just received. And so I showed that demo to a friend, and he was like, it was good enough for him, like being in the industry, being like, okay, this is good enough. Like he tells me, sorry, I'm getting the story mixed up. He introduced me to a friend after he heard that. And then it was years later, he told me, I wouldn't have introduced you if that song wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And so definitely like God gave me exactly what I needed to make the connection to keep going. And so got connected with my now business partner who owns my record, like the record label with me, NOVUM Records.
Novum.
NOVUM. And so yeah, I mean, that kind of kicked it off. And so writing that one song helped me build kind of the band to put together our first project. We recorded it, all the things, put it out. And so after we learned all that, one of the band members was like, hey, I have this friend who's also really talented and like needs a place to help get recording done and blah, blah. And I was like, oh, well, and because I have like that, a good split of left and right brain, and like I have a business degree, et cetera, I'm like, okay, I can be creative and I can get things done, which a lot of creatives struggle with. And so I was like, well, you know, if they're struggling to get stuff done, and I love spreadsheets and administration and like, you know, filing copyrights and all that stuff, why not? And so we helped her. So she became like our first unofficial signed artist without even realizing it. So it's like this whole thing laid out. That was in like 2013, 14. And so it wasn't until 2018 that I was finally like, okay, we should just start a label, because we've just happened to like help so many people, and I love doing it and kind of building that community. And so here we are with the label. And the label primarily was praise and worship. So our catalog, you know, in the first few years was all Christian music and worship, but has thus recently, in the last like 3 or 4 years, we've branched off into all genres, because a lot of the artists that I've worked with, I've realized, even within my own, you know, myself, as an artist, starting writing praise and worship, but then realizing, man, I really want to make other kinds of music, and so do other people. And so how do we create a Catholic platform for music that can work outside the church walls, that can contribute to a good, wholesome culture?
Yeah, so not necessarily on the nose worship music, but music that has still a positive message or a redemptive message, or pointing people back towards what's true, good, and beautiful.
Yeah, but also just being authentic, like, you know, writing songs that deal with tough subjects, writing songs about ache, writing songs about pain, you know, any genre.
And the name, you skipped over a few things here that I want to go back to.
Sure.
The name of that very first band that you knew you were supposed to start, was it called Good Enough?
No.
I mean, what was the name?
Well, okay, this is what's funny. The band was called NOVUM, so that's where we get NOVUM Records.
All right, I'm sensing a thread here.
Oh, there's a big one, because we have NOVUM the band, which is now just a 2-piece, me and my friend Eric, and we're actually still making music. We have some songs that'll be out soon. Actually, we're releasing them in November for November. So
should do it on Dudes Day.
Yeah, we can. We'll set the release date. So anyway, so NOVUM the band, and then so the publishing company is called NOVUM Publishing. The label is called NOVUM Records. You know, we figured we'd start NOVUM Realty Group, NOVUM Auto Group. You know, we're just gonna keep going with
like Virgin Galactic, Virgin Air.
Exactly, yeah. And then the worship collective of NOVUM artists is called NOVUM Collective. So, you know, why not?
Yeah.
This sounds like Spaceballs. It's like Novum, the
movie, Novum, the T-shirt.
Yeah.
And for those watching, this is our logo for the label.
Yeah, let me see that card right there. Hold it up for camera 2 for a second here. And what does Novum, does it mean something?
It's Latin for new. So we're inspired by the new evangelization.
Yes. That's incredible.
That's awesome.
Well, you've inspired us to play a little game and have you judge us.
All right.
That game is called Blessed Are the Joke Makers.
That's right.
That's right.
I listen to this show.
For they shall inherit the points.
How many? Oh yeah, how many?
Yeah, this one's going to be 88.
88 points.
I like it.
All right.
All right. And the way this is going to work is we've got a character card and a Catholic card game card, and we have to answer or fill in the blank of the prompt from the Catholic card game card as the character. So you get to judge who you think struck your fancy the best, did it best, whatever, tickled your funny bone, any of that. It's just purely subjective, but you got to award the 88 points to somebody. All right, so the character is as a vampire. You have to answer the prompt, I would be the patron saint of blank.
As a vampire, I would be the patron saint of transfusions. And I'm blanking on the technical name of the person who draws your blood.
Blood drawer.
A doctor?
Phlebotomist.
Oh.
I would have never got there.
Nice.
Thank you.
I would be a patron saint of Novum blood centers.
That's a new one. I like that. Actually, I
know,
really
so-
like that. You're winning so far.
I'm getting dirty looks.
As a vampire, I would be the patron saint of moody young adult novels that get converted into books. I mean, movies. You know what I'm saying? I've been alive for millennia.
Do I get to go?
Yeah, go
If
for
you
it.
want to, go for
Yeah.
it.
As a vampire, I would be the patron saint of daytime naps.
88
nice.
points.
Yeah, we're giving that to you.
It's Will. Will Hickl.
Will the Trill Bill Hickl. You're some Novum points here for
Hey,
Will.
Here's a Novum name.
There we go. I
Add
love it.
Bill.
Well, good. Well, hey,
Oh
for being
my
our celebrity
gosh.
guest judge, even though we just gave you the points without even consulting, it's been a while since somebody just threw their
Throw it out there.
hat
Yeah.
in their hat in the name.
good.
And
Ring.
and ring it up. And I also love that you started off by asking us questions. So
Yeah.
as probably the most engaged guest we've had for season 2,
I'll take it.
you're getting a pair of Our Lady of Guadalupe socks, one of the most engaging apparitions of Our Lady, because she's still there for us. So that's how I tied it back.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, nice. I was just going to say, we're giving you these till my new ones come in.
Tilma Novum.
Till my Novum ones.
Got some Novum socks.
And if you at home throughout the BeatiDudes universe would like your own socks, go to sockreligious.com/BeatiDudes, 10% off, and you can match Will the Bill Trill with his socks on his legs. See you after the break.
The team at Aquinas Wealth Advisors believes that good values and good returns are not mutually exclusive. Using a tech-smart and morally sound approach, they provide investment alternatives that align with Catholic teachings without sacrificing returns. These days, faith-driven investors are finding it hard to know where their money is going. They have no visibility into what their dollars are supporting, but there's a better way. Thanks to the Faith and Finance Score from Aquinas Wealth Advisors, you can look into your current holdings to see what you're supporting and make a switch to an advisor that aligns with your values and gives power to your voice. Check out AquinasWealth.com today.
Hey y'all, this is Jeff Schuffelbein. When Nick and I set out to start our new company, Undivided Life, we were really concerned about how would we cover the healthcare needs of our growing families, and we were so excited to find a company that fit both our medical needs and our faith beliefs perfectly. It's called Solidarity Health Share. It is an ethical alternative to traditional health insurance. We're never part of sharing in the medical costs of anything that goes against the teachings of the Catholic Church, making it a great alternative for Catholics and Christians alike. Solidarity is very affordable, which is perfect for a large family or for a new and growing business like the one we've started. So visit joinsolidarity.com today so that you can get started with us.
Hi, it's Paul Kolker from the BeatiDudes here, and I just wanted to share with you guys that I also, outside of the show, perform improv comedy on a regular basis with a group called Divine Comedy. So what we do is we come up with everything on the spot, so whether you're looking for faith-filled, fun, family-friendly comedy for your youth night, or whether you're looking for clean comedy for your corporate event, Divine Comedy can perform for your group and even get you in on the action. So if you'd like to hire us to come out and perform for your next event, check out DivineComedyImprov.com. Divine Comedy, an inferno of fun.
Welcome back to the BeatiDudes. I'm their guest, Will Hickl, here to ask them questions. All right, guys. So,
Going straight into it. What just happened?
Is this
I got
happening, or did
hijacked.
I have too much Red Bull?
Welcome back. Whoa.
Reverse.
that's funny. Okay, yeah, I wanted to ask you guys.
That was patronizing. That's funny.
I wanted to go around the horn.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here, by the way. I never get, I'm just kidding.
We're happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's true honor.
I am happy to be here.
I want to ask each of y'all, like, whenever you hear the words Catholic music, what do you think?
Marty Hogan.
Okay. Chant?
Yes, sisters, like a Dominican sisters singing praise.
Wow. So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because we want to take Catholic music and make it, dare I say, great again. But yeah, no, that's a huge part of our mission to make music that is Catholic, that when you think of Catholic music, you don't think of just these things, because none of these things are bad.
Sure.
I want to qualify that. None of it's bad.
For sure.
But almost to I feel like we're not appreciating the fact that there is more music, like an artistical musical side to the Catholic body of Christ that is not just what you hear in your cathedral. What do you hear, from the nuns or from, the monks or from the 70s or whatever, from the old gather hymnal.
That's
and
it.
anything that's true and good and beautiful is rightly ordered towards the truth. And so that whole new evangelization or novum evangelization, see how I'm doing, is this is a great example of it, because we want the highest quality of artistic expression in music. And it could be a completely contemporary or rock or whatever song that is drawing somebody into a message or into a deeper connection to something that they're feeling. And if that's a gateway to them saying, what's this all about? That's evangelization.
Yeah.
Well, and I just was going to build on that. You said highest quality, and just that whole idea that yes, it's not that any of these other things are bad, but like maybe they were good for their time or they were a step in the right direction, but that we can build on them. And you look at like the Renaissance, right? And you had these amazing, like the best artists, Michelangelo, Caravaggio. I mean, I don't know enough about all of the art history, but like all of these incredibly talented individuals who were invested in by the church,
Right.
that made it so beautiful. That's now the reason why so many people make pilgrimages to Rome all the time.
Right.
Great point.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just saying, like that's the aspiration of what you're wanting to do, is kind of almost a new renaissance in a way.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, credit to the Catholic creative movement to kind of help drive some of that along. But yeah, for us in the corner that we're sitting in is because you're mentioning like a lot of cool architecture and stuff like that, and you could even make an argument that we need to bring some of that back, right? Like
Yes.
So actually, you see that push. If you look at what's happening in the Diocese of Dallas, they got very serious with their Sacred Spaces committee about 6 years ago. And now every church, if they're doing any sort of a renovation, is supposed to be going back to really the church documents that are drawing your gaze to the Eucharist and then up to Christ. And that it's truly like sacred and beautiful, but still, if you read the documents, in line with that specific community and culture, so that they're not all just homogenous and just here's what this art looks like. And so there is a resurgence of that, at least in the more vibrant parishes and dioceses that are around the U.S.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have many artists now on Novum. Can you talk a little bit about some of those?
Oh, gladly. I'm the proudest dad of them all. So I mean, I think one of our more exciting artists, they're a married couple, Megan and Blake Flynn. Their artist name is Flynn, and they are like, if you like the chain smokers, they're like the Catholic chain smokers.
No way.
Yahweh. So they've got such a good pulse on like what modern pop is, and like, if you listen to their music, it's very much like it fits right in with any playlist you might make with modern pop music on it. So we're really excited about that, because they've been traveling a lot, doing a lot for like young adults and teens and stuff, and they've just struck that chord really well. And it's funny because their songs are like very like breakup and bad relationship kind of stuff. So it's relatable. But then when you talk to them, you're like, oh, we're like the happiest married couple ever. So it's a fun dichotomy to like know them, but then hear the music they're making because it's very.
And that's FLYNN, Flynn?
Yes. Yeah, FLYNN,
Cool.
all caps. And so, yeah, so they're a really exciting addition. They're rolling out some songs throughout the year. They've got a vinyl that'll be pressed in a couple months. So, so there's Flynn. There's another artist from Ireland called Kate Curran who reimagines hymns in a really cool way. Like you haven't heard "O God Beyond All Praising" until you've heard her version because it's very jazzy. She has horns. She has like electric guitar. It's like if you listen to it and she wasn't singing, like if she was just singing like la la la, just the melody on top of the sound, the soundscape, you wouldn't know what song it is because it's so like different, but it's really cool. It's just probably for me the most creative reimagination of hymns. I heard the voice of Jesus say, O Salutaris Hostia, like really cool versions of those. And then who else? A guy, Matt Lewis, who's like a really cool folk artist. Sarah Quintanilla, really cool folk. And then a handful of worship artists. So,
And how often are you personally producing music?
I mean, I was doing some last night, so I'm
recent.
Yeah. So pretty often, our latest artist that we just signed, her name is Avery Collins. Her release is our latest release as of this recording. So, and she's a worship artist, but she has a really cool kind of jazz worship style that she's going for. So it's really intriguing, and she's given me permission to like lay down a bunch of cool synth stuff on her music. So. Just trying to be creative with that. But for my artists, I mean, I'm probably doing something, I'm working on at least 2 to 5 songs a month. Just, whether, and it could be as much as like just doing the project management or like actually in the studio with them, like recording or working on stuff.
What's the easiest way for somebody listening to start connecting to all of your artists?
Oh, yeah. I mean, on Spotify, we have a playlist called NOVUM Records Releases. If you go to NOVUMRecords.com, NOVUM, /releases, you can see all the releases in chronological order, so you can do that. And then of course, if you're a musician, NOVUMRecords.com/demo. I listen to every single one and I email you back personally. So
if I start submitting music on there just to keep you busy, do you promise to?
I'll listen to it. Yeah, I listen to everything.
I can't. I'm just gonna write songs to you.
It's just gonna be variations on the song "Hot Cross Buns."
Just no Baby Shark, please.
Fair. And just before we go into our TBD question for today, I'm looking on the table here. It looks like we have the keyboard I bought after I got my confirmation or my
first
communion money in 2nd grade. But with a few more dials and buttons, we're going to get a chance to hear you jam out in a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is not the one I got in 1983, correct?
No, I think this model was made in like 2017 or something.
Okay, yeah. Well, totally different, but looking forward to that. But we're going to ask a TBD question.
Cool.
This one's a nice little one, but maybe it'll inspire some new traditions for the listeners and play along at home in the notes. The question is, what faith-based tradition do you recall fondly, maybe from growing up with your family, or that you're doing, or that you would like to instill into your family? And happy to go first because this was just over a year ago that my wife and I were sitting there having this conversation with a group of people, and my wife had never heard people talk about midnight mass because she's a convert. She's like, "Can we do that?" I said, "Well, we have 6 kids, so we will have not just the most number of kids, we'll out-kid the entire rest of the people there on little kids." So we enrolled a family that has 7 older kids and told them to flank us. And we took all 6 kids to midnight mass. Wow. And it was awesome, man. PJs and the girls were dressed up. The boys were in PJs. And there was such joy. Like, it's a cool tradition. It makes Christmas not about just the other stuff.
Yeah.
That's great. One for me, just from childhood, it was something we would commute a fair amount just because we lived in Coppell but drove into St. Luke for Catholic school, and my dad made it a point just about every morning. I mean, it was very frequently anyway where he would lead us in a rosary on the drive because it was about a 20-minute drive, and so we'd pray the rosary, and so it not only taught me to pray the rosary and helped me learn the mysteries and things like that, but it was it instilled this idea that, oh, okay, well, let's also just not waste the time in the car. Like we've got this drive. Let's offer that as a prayer as well. So, versus just listening to music, which we did at times. I'm not saying we never just turned on the radio, but, he made it a point to say, yeah, let's pray a rosary this morning.
If anybody listening has young kids, the Colkers turned out pretty darn cool. So,
oh, thanks.
One of them is a priest. So.
Yeah, recently ordained. Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Nicholas, we'll get back to you.
Yeah. We've talked a little bit about Lindsay, Texas, and how it's a unique place where I grew up. And one of the things we always did, similar or Christmas season, for Christmas Eve, was the 4 p.m. Like children's choir mass. And then we would all go down to my dad's house, and it was like that was Christmas Eve. It was all your cousins, all your aunts and uncles, like the same food, the same drinks, the same like warm and cozy by the fire because it's cold. Like it's just that
perfect.
It's exactly what Christmas is about, with like family and Jesus. And then Christmas Day, we'd go to my mom's parents, and it was like same thing all over again. So that was a unique and awesome way to grow up as a kid, and those are great memories.
Anybody listening with young kids at home, the Besners all turned out really cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that my wife was like, we should do this is every Advent, she makes like a cool little wreath with candles and stuff that sits on our dining room table. And before every meal, there's like a prayer guide that the Messy Family Project has. And so it's like during the season of Advent, we've started like doing those prayers and kind of lighting the candle and just having that moment before we eat, which has been really cool. It's something that, I hadn't done until I got married 3 years ago. So I kind of like, it's been a fun and cool tradition. And it'll be cool for like our children. They're too young, or our son's too young to understand now, but, to keep that going, I think will be.
He feels it, though. He feels something.
For sure.
This is such a neat question to ask people, especially somebody that's older than you, because you'll find out about traditions or things that used to be very common that maybe you've never even heard of, or you didn't know that that's what that word meant in the liturgical calendar or whatever it may be. So I'm always kind of blown away by this one because it's also inspiring to go and do something with it.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to, because you already took over the whole show, we want to unplug a couple things here, and we want what are you about to serve up for us?
Yeah, so this song is a song called Voices, and it's from a personal project of mine called The Longing, and just The Longing is about like the whole project is kind of this deep dive into like the human heart. What are our longings? What are kind of the points of pain? So a lot of the songs I write for this project are very kind of just real and raw, and there's a lot more emotion behind it, and I'll talk more about that later.
Well, this will be our reverse Simpsons. We're going to play this for you. This is kind of the way that we do. Every Monday episode ends differently, and we'll give you a chance to talk after, but we are going to hear Voices.
I'm looking for someone, some truth to see. Fighting all the lies, the wounds deceive. And these voices, oh, messing with our choices, oh. I'm looking to be brave, to stand, to be free. Giving what it takes for the sake of
voices.
Michelangelo, we were talking.
Yeah.
The Caravaggio of music over here.
Did they say NOVUM Angelo?
NOVUM Angelo. There we go.
Right?
It's amazing.
Hey,
So good.
what inspired that song?
A breakup. A lot of
Angst.
It was a bad relationship. Yeah, there's. I can unpack it, but it is angsty and yeah.
Kids are into that.
It is. Yeah, they are.
It's great.
Yeah.
Hey, you blessed us with that. I mean,
But it's real. It's like it's real stuff, and it's powerful, and it's got all the aesthetics and stuff. I mean, it's beautiful. It's well done.
Thank you. Actually, I should have asked you guys another question. Like, what did you take from it? Like, because there's a lot of ambiguity in it, but
are you calling on me?
yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things I took from this big time was I like watching a master do his craft. You are singing and you are very in the moment and your hands are moving and changing dials.
Yes.
And it's making these things happen. And I'm like, whoa. It's like getting insider access to how the sausage is made, and the sausage tastes good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I was going
appreciate
to say, my reaction was like, wow, very different than the Dominican sisters' hymns.
that. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I just loved the I liked the rhyme scheme with voices and choices, but then also just the profundity of that, the idea that we hear these things, and I'm not saying like literal voices all the time, but like the kind of the voices of people from our past, or the ideas or the beliefs we have about ourselves.
People
right?
can fill in the gaps with what that means to them.
Right.
Well, yeah, but that we hear these kinds of voices of the ideas, right, that might be lying to us or whatever it is, and that affects how we choose to act in certain situations. It's a profound song, and even in its beauty and simplicity, there's a lot to unpack there.
Thank you. Yeah.
Another comment from me that I think hopefully you'll take this as a compliment. When you very first started off and I was listening to kind of these beats and this kind of movement, I heard sticks. Like I heard this like
Yeah. Sure.
80s, early 90s, and I was blown into it. Is how they say it in the music business.
Sucked in,
Blown away.
blown away.
Were you just mixing up your metaphors there?
It's a novum metaphor.
That's right. It's the Novum way.
Oh,
No, Sticks. I mean, yeah, I love a lot of the synth tones that they pull out and stuff. So yeah, I'm very inspired by the 80s and a lot of stuff. So that is a compliment.
I love it, man. Well, listen, everybody's going to get a chance to have more great time with Will on the bonus show coming up on Friday. You are a blessing to us. NOVUM Records, the website is?
NOVUMRecords.com.
Guys,
So-
we will see you in the new evangelization of Catholic music. And for the rest of you, we will
See you in the Eucharist.
God bless.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to join us at our undersized table, subscribe to the video version of the show on YouTube by typing @ that's the symbol @, so shift and 2 on your keyboard, @the_BeatiDudes on YouTube. We'll see you there.
This podcast is part of the Spoke Street Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.